My husband has gone crazy. He came to my office today and demanded sex. Table Chatter presents Table Advice. On this episode, we have Kim, we have Wedson, we have Nia, and Dom. Welcome back. So there's been a letter that came to my attention that's gone viral on social media, where a woman is asking for advice. So I figured let's all give it to her. So I'm gonna read the letter. Here goes. My husband came to my office unannounced today and asked me to tell my secretary not to allow anyone in from 1:30 to 2:30. I thought he wanted to talk about something important, but no, he just wanted sex. I told him it was my working hours and that I couldn't, but then he got pissed and tried forcing himself on me. So I screamed for help. I give him sex at home when he wants it, and we don't have any real sex issues pending, so I don't know exactly what came over him today. When help finally entered my office, he was naked. He got dressed in their presence and then removed his wedding ring and threw it on the floor. He's not home yet. He has not called me since this afternoon. What do I do or say to him when he returns home? Anonymous wife. Who wants to go first? So what type of advice would you give this woman about her husband?
Pack his shit, and when he gets back, say adios.
So you would divorce him?
Done.
Okay. Just like that.
It's so wild to me. The whole scenario is so outrageous. So if she's saying that this is not her husband's normal behavior, and it seems so out of character, that for me that's a red flag. That maybe something is going on with him. Maybe he had some kind of episode, or maybe something is going on, because if he doesn't behave this way, I could see if, like, you're saying, listen, my husband always wants sex, he's acting inappropriate, this is like behavior that she's seen before, but he's never behaved this way. And to come to her office and to be so overtly like sexually aggressive to her, to the point she needed to scream for help, and that he was already naked when help came, this is like, yeah, I think something is definitely going on with her husband.
Dom, Wedson?
That it sounds like psychopathic. Like I don't even want to like put this in that direction, but like I guess some people could have an office fantasy, but like clearly you don't walk into your wife's place of business when she doesn't invite you to do it and like literally try to rape your wife. Like that's one of her coworkers are there, like, come on, or security or whoever. Like that, it's you have to be a psychopath.
Wedson? So like the advice, so like what would you tell her to do? Like if let's say that you just had to advise her, that's what I want everybody to do, to say what advice would they like give her?
Okay. Couple of things. First and foremost, like Kim said, that was wild. Like that seems like out of nowhere. Because I mean, again, from what she said, it seems like it's not normal behavior. It's not something he normally does. Like this, there's something else going on there. So like, okay, what I would say, you know what? Wait till he gets home. Have a conversation with him. At this point, that conversation could be, well, again, I don't want to, play I don't want to like, be on, try to, play each other's parts on the conversation. But I'm saying though, wait till he comes home and talk to him. Just be like, listen, what the fuck was that? Like, have the conversation. And then after that conversation, you decide, okay, you know what? Yeah, all right. Like Nia said, pack your shit, you can go now. Or, from that point on, trying to figure out like what the hell happened. Because nobody wake up and become this overnight. Nobody wake up and become this in a moment. Like there's a lot more to this. Like we're not getting. Like I feel like that needs to be explored and talked to. Because I mean, that is wild. So yeah, have the conversation.
So to clarify, Kim, what would you tell her to do? Just want to make sure.
Just basically with what she said, that this is not his normal behavior. They don't have any kind of sexual dysfunction in their relationship, and this incident just happened out of the blue. I would definitely advise her to, try to get into contact with her husband. Like, where is he? Even in this situation, he hasn't come home. She hasn't spoken to him, to at least try to talk to him. And because this behavior for me is so out of the norm, I would say to try to have somebody there when they do have the conversation, because maybe he might still be in this, overly aggressive, mindset. And if she's feeling scared that she even had to call security on her own husband in her office, in the space of your own home, it could be an even more dangerous situation. So I would say definitely find your husband, speak to him, make sure you have somebody there that can act as a mediator, also just have your back in case things spiral out of control, but try to get to the bottom of what's going on with him. Maybe it's a situation where he needs some kind of mental help.
Right. And Dom, just to clarify, what is your advice to her? What would you tell her to do?
Honestly, I don't know if I would advise her to be in the house. I think getting somewhere else where they don't know where you are is probably the best idea. And then you don't really want to take it the legal route right away, because it could be some sort of like psychotic break, or who knows what happened. Maybe the guy like took some drugs and he lost his shit, but like you don't exactly know what happened, so you don't really want to like drop the book on him, but maybe you do. Like it's a difficult situation. She were my sister, I would definitely try to have other people find that guy. Not necessarily in the malicious way, but like, I wouldn't have
not in a malicious way.
Not on camera, not in a malicious way.
People start coming up missing, we're gonna look for you, Dom.
But like, you'd want to find out if the person is still a threat, and clearly they are a threat to some degree.
Yeah. I definitely agree with Kim. She should probably have somebody come over to the house and be there, so that when he does get home, she has some type of protection just in case. And I definitely think they should have a conversation. I would advise her to just have a conversation, just to get to the bottom of what was the motive, like where did this idea come from. I wouldn't necessarily say she should divorce him off of that. We don't know anything else about this story, but what I can assume is that, well, I can say this for sure. I've heard stories of people who like certain type of spontaneity in their relationships. So perhaps he got the idea from somewhere and wanted to just act this out in his relationship, but it's all about knowing who your partner is. There are some women that they would love their husband to show up at their job and go at it for an hour, because it sounded like the way that she was speaking is like she owned the business. I really don't know, but I know that there are some women that would probably go through with it. And I mean, not that they like, what I'm saying is that there are some women that would welcome the spontaneity, the random spontaneity, and not have that reaction to the point where they're going to scream and have to call for help, but she's not that type of person. Doesn't sound like she is. So it sounded like he was trying to play out a fantasy in his mind, and it backfired. And so that's where the conversation has to come in. If that's what it was, he should explain it to her, and then she can make a decision on, what she wants to do from that point moving forward, because it's never going to go away, the embarrassment that both of them felt in that moment, especially with him being naked. Like, he probably feels in his mind like, she shouldn't have done that. But then on the flip side, she's going to feel like, he should not have done what he did. So they definitely have to have a conversation. They have to. So
I have a very difficult time agreeing to a conversation after you try to rape me. I don't feel like there's a whole lot of things to discuss at that point, especially upon you being told no. Your response is to throw your wedding ring at me. So you already said you're done because you were not given sex. And the wording in her letter, the fact that she said, I give him sex whenever he wants it, that verbiage is troubling to me. The fact that she phrased it that way. And then the fact that he felt like it was okay for him to come into her office and do that. And then once she said no, once any woman, I don't care if she's your wife, once any woman gets to a point where she is screaming for help, you stop. Your response to a scream should not be to get naked. And once you are busted, your response should not be to throw your wedding ring still whilst naked at your spouse. There's not a whole lot. For me, there is not a whole lot that needs to be discussed at that point. The ring throwing and the attempted rape, we've talked enough. I'm good. You could go. It's too much. Like, I understand fantasies, the work sex. I get it. But you should know your wife. And like Dom said, barring any previously established mental illnesses, or unless you have had a mental breakdown, there is no reason for that. And if your mental breakdown equates to you trying to rape me, there's not a whole lot coming back from that. I don't see how you could justify that for any reason.
First things first, is that husband Pepe Le Pew? Because that would make sense.
I hate you.
But I'm pumped.
I hate you.
Cartoon. It was like, you know what?
Oh no.
Not trying to be funny, but maybe he watched Pepe Le Pew growing up.
Because that's a big jump from come here, mon chéri, to all right, man.
I'm done. I'm so done with you.
Okay. All right. All jokes aside, no, Nia, I see where you're coming from in terms of, like, his actions say that, there shouldn't be, like, that this is it, the conversation's over, because you did, after everything you did, you spoke your piece. The reason why I mentioned the conversation thing is because of, like, what Dom said in terms of, like barring a serious, like, mental breakdown or something seriously wrong, like, I don't see why. So it's like, for me, I'm like, and I guess my thing is, like, combination of everything that, everybody said. When Dom said, like, mental breakdown, something like that, and then Kim say, have somebody else there, during that conversation, because it seems like, for me, just out of pure curiosity, like, what the hell just happened? Like, because again, you could, package shit, leave, divorce and stuff like that. But this is one of those things, like, for me, I'm like, I will forever have questions about this. So it's like, I just want some answers. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, we also don't know the scenario. We don't know what state these people live in, what their political views, hobbies, whatever are. The guy could be a gun owner. He could. Do I want to be her friend when he comes home and he decides to shoot the place up? No. Like,
I never thought about that.
Definitely didn't.
Like, I think people are extremely irrational. Like, having lived in New York City, I know that people are extremely irrational. Somebody could lose a fight and come back and stab you like 20 times. Like,
right.
You don't know what the guy's going to do.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
You can wait until 3 in the morning and set the place on fire. Like,
I
what
think she needs to lawyer up and change the locks.
you say, Kim?
I said, ultimately, I wish her the best in whatever she decides to do. I think her even posing the question just shows that she's conflicted, and you're kind of putting it out there because she's probably just so blown away by what happened. She don't even know what to do that you would put this question on the internet to try to get people to help you navigate this crazy situation you find yourself in. And sometimes women can be, listen, we could be definitive and be like, you know what, that's it. That you went so far over the line, there's no coming back from that. It's over. And also be like, what happened with my husband? Like, this is crazy. So, I see her trying to weigh all these things and try to, figure out what the hell to do in this crazy situation. I hope she follows up. It's like it's turned into such a viral thing. It's almost like, with Gorilla Glue Girl, we wanted to see how it ended. So I hope we find out what happens with this young woman.
Agree.
Yeah.
Definitely agree. And if I do find out, then I'll definitely will make another video about it. So yeah. So thank you all for sharing your advice. I appreciate it. And thank you for watching.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Table Chatter.
Thank you for checking out Table Advice. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe to this channel and also hit the bell notification to be alerted when the next show is posted. Also, visit tablechatter.com if you'd like to make a donation, and follow me on Instagram @TableChatter and DM me if you'd like to say hello or if you'd like to be a participant on a future episode. And please check out our other shows on this channel: Debate Boss, Table of Cinema, and Open Table Discussions coming soon.